All right, let's see here. There we go. Hey, Lee, I am running here. Hopefully, you see everything. Good to see you, man. How's Virginia? Haven't got to talk to you in a long time. Hopefully, you gotta get your ass up here to Maryland, and you had some time off that one time we would try to get together. And I know you were under the weather, so hopefully, get together and have some drams sometime if you're able. Let me know when you got some time, if you can. He's gone to what? Plaid. Uh-oh. Hey, talking about that tartan. Hey, Tom and Kenneth and everybody. I appreciate you sticking around. Bob H, thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. First, I'm going to talk about, I think we should start with this one first, which is a Cardhu 18. And I have been playing around with it for quite a while. This is not my first rodeo with it. I wanted to give it its just due because I wasn't really into it as much as I thought it was going to be. I am a fan of the Cardhu 12, and just for you know, what's the word for it? Comparative purposes, I'll even pull up some of my notes that I did for the 12. And it was kind of interesting what I went through on the 18, and we'll go through it together and see. I'm not sure if any of you guys have the Cardhu 18 to go through it with me, but I'm curious to see if you have kind of a similar experience. I'm just going to go pull up my notes. I usually go to Distiller, and I've got 199 up there. I got to do my 200th review at some point. Trying to pick a special bottle to do. It's kind of a tough one for number 200, but I'll figure it out. But let's pull up the card. Sorry about not having this ready, but the Cardhu 12. Thankfully, it's easy to navigate and find things. It's free too. You don't have to pay anything to use it. Sweet and fruity. That's the 12. So let me pull up my my notes and just go over that first, and then we'll talk about the 18. Now, the 12, I started it off with, I'm not sure if you'll know what this is, but Lapsang Souchong is, it's like a Chinese black tea. It's very earthy tasting. And that's like the first note I got off of it, a really nice, dark, kind of an earthy Chinese tea. At least a light version of it. It kind of turned more into like a really good southern sweet tea. White grapes, vanilla, honey, all your typical Speyside goodness. The palate is where the sherry notes, and you got a little slight peat smoke in there. This is on the 12. I'll be honest, the first stream of this yesterday did not appeal to me too much, but now on the second day it's much better. Maybe that's a sign that oxidation helps this glass. It's a base core offering and a great one. No water is needed. And the finish reminded me of an orange peel marmalade with candied sugar, a nice medium mouth coat. I gave it a 3.75, which is, considerably better than average. And, rounded it out that way. And I think the guys, Lee G and I also hang out with a guy named Paul, Prene, and Scott, and we try different scotches, and this is one of the ones on our list. And we all kind of, I think, dug the bottle, and Lee was saying, "Oh, that's a great bottle. I haven't had the 2018." Oh, he's talking about the Classic Cut. Never mind. But I'm pretty sure he enjoyed the Cardhu 12 for a good, just basic, tasty deal. So I'm going to take a look at this one and see, if it compares, and this is, I'll do it first and then I'll talk about the issues here. Now you do get some nice fruit from the get-go. That is there. That's the good point. And this has set out for a while. I gave it, 20 minutes just to let it air out a bit. I usually try to give a minute per year just to do it justice. You get some nice fruit from the beginning, but let me see if I have any coins back here. One second. I'm going to use Mark Broda's Scotch for it. All right. You get a nice the fruit, but the the florals come in on this one. This brings in a lot of floral notes that you don't typically get on the 12 as much. It's very subtle. You might get a little honeysuckle, but the honeysuckle here is definitely more in your face. Some hay, straw, barn, that type of thing. Little nice dankness, but not near as much of the nice earthy tea, almost to the point of being tobacco, tea bag kind of taste or smell. I'm sorry, from the Cardhu 12. And the thing I think that will also make this suffer is that the 12 is a low ABV, unfortunately. It was started off, I think, at 40%. And unfortunately, when they did the 18, and some distilleries do, give you a little boost, but they stuck with the 40%. And that's what really, I think, hurts the change from the 12 to the 18 on the palate. It's not unpleasant. It is maybe a little more complex as far as, not only do I get the fruit with this, I get more of the creaminess of some vanilla and some, maybe a really slight herbal note in the back end, some celery, like white pepper, that kind of thing. But I need a little more of a mouthfeel. It's kind of light on the mouthfeel. I need definitely a little more ABV. 43, 46%, I think, would have really helped it out overall to stay that 3.75 dram. Because, and this doesn't happen often. I've tried my share of whiskey by now, but from a 12 to an 18, typically, I mean, especially going from like a 40-10 to an 18 is night and day better when you get to the 18. Not to say the 10's bad by any means, but it's just the 18's, it's still solid. It still has the power because I think it's 48%. And same thing with a lot of these, you go from let me think of another good example from 12 to 18, like your Bunnahabhains. Bunnahabhain 12, solid, great dram. 18 is just as good and maybe a little bit smidgen better. And I think it's because the ABV is the big difference. It's got a great nose. I will give it that. I think the fruits really are sweet. The sugar kind of pops out, maybe even a little more on the 18. On the nose might be better, but I think I'm missing the earthiness that I got on the 12 versus the 18. The 18 has more. It's funny. It actually tastes more vibrant. It's a little more spicier. But the spice is like that white pepper, celery seed kind of spice that's going on. Not a bad dram. Just I don't know if I would go as far as 3.75 like that Cardhu 12. So I'm going to give this more of a 3.5. It's slightly, I think, a little bit. Maybe not my, not my favorite. Subjective. Some people might like this a hell of a lot more than 12. I don't see it very often. If that happens, just saying. Because when that happened to me, I thought, well, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I should go out and do a little research to see if there's something I'm not getting that I should be getting. Like if there's a nice sulfuric note, or if there's like a little mineral, water action going on. Sometimes bitterness can actually help balance a dram, but no, I wasn't really missing anything, and a lot of people, it seemed like, had this kind of a similar experience to it. So I'm thinking that it's just the way it goes. Hopefully next they get a chance, maybe when I think Diageo does, Cardhu, maybe if they do a 43, edge it up a little bit at least. 46 would be ideal, 48 would be perfect, but Wow. You guys are really going crazy in the chat. I appreciate it. Sorry I'm missing all the comments. I missed having fun with this. I don't see anything about the Cardhu 18. I don't know if anybody else has had it, what they thought about it. Let me know in the chat if you can. If you catch this after the live, do in the comments if you don't mind. Let me know, what you get out of it. It's spicier the more I get. Now, I want Lee G to close his eyes if he's still around. He might be sleeping now because I know how he is. Just to be even more fair, and like I said, he can't argue with me on this. If you take a Dalmore King Alexander, it's 40%. You wouldn't think water would be a good idea. But if you take the smallest drop, I mean like 1, 2 little smidgely drops and put it on there, it really opens up, changes it, and actually makes it even more enjoyable. So I'm going to give it its chance with this. I'm not saying it's going to do it, but it very well could, you know, be just enough to give it something to, you know, crack something open. Maybe I'll change my score on it. Let it sit for a little bit. I guess he didn't see it because he's not complaining. Uh-oh, did you hear that? I don't think I think he fell asleep. He's a light sleeper, I think. And thanks so much for subscribing, Jason Coates. I saw that before I started the thing. I really appreciate it. And if you have fun, you don't have to do it now, but when you later on before you leave, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed your time. I always like giving a platform for people just to hang out, drink what they want, talk about it. Doesn't have to be exactly the same. Lee's ears was burning. That's It does take the pepper deal, the celery seed down, but with the 40%, it just doesn't do it. It just doesn't have the cojones. It doesn't have, you know, something that to give it. And I think the age actually took away my earthiness, so I'm kind of like, it's not a bad dram, but it's just not. It's no longer in my, you know, wheelhouse. Not something that I'm going to get as much into. But Cardhu 12 is still definitely worth a look at. Pick it up. It's probably cheaper, you know, by far anyway. I did trying to think. I haven't had their new Game of Thrones option yet. The 4 I've got are the Oban, the Lagavulin, the Talisker, and the Glendullan. Glendullan probably. Those are the 4 I was able to snag, and now it's like going to be like prying teeth to find it. So yeah, Lee, open up that 2018. This is a 2017. Let's talk about this one next. Now, let me have a little palate cleanser here. And nothing against, you know, Diageo. Cardhu is a great distillery. I like the 12 a lot, so don't think I'm bashing. I'm just saying, if I had to pick between the two, I'm going to go for the 12. That's just my preference. So this I poured a little bit earlier, about 20 minutes ago, and this was a great gift from Mr. Bob H. Man, I really appreciate it. When we got to hang out with Bob and Kibi up in New York, they were the best hosts I think I've ever had. They treated us like we were relatives, basically, and I really appreciate it. And hopefully, get the chance to hang out with you guys soon. If you're ever in DC area, let me know. I don't have near the great collection that KB has, but I can throw a couple bottles maybe at you that you might not, you know, shy away from. So it might be worth a stop by at least. Did I rate that Glendronach CH Batch 7? I did not do it on, trying to think, did I even have a chance to do that one? Because one of the last shows I did was a live with Whiskey Throttle and Swami, and somehow they talked me into drinking that entire bottle that night. It was bad. It was bad. Thank God it was on Instagram where they deleted it, I think, after 24 hours. That was crazy. But that bottle is gone. I don't think I got a chance to do a proper review, which is really sad. If I didn't, I will talk about it now though. The Glendronach Cast Strength Batch 7 is good, but is it as good as the earlier variations? I'm going to say no. Only because even though there's PX and there's Oloroso Sherry going on in it, I don't think the PX is strong enough to give me that sweetness that I'm looking for. If you're more of an Oloroso guy, if you don't want that PX being in your face as much, you might like the Batch 7 better. If you're like me, don't mind a good sweet dram with, the sherry. And no matter what Lee says, I love a really heavy, potent peat smoke fire, but I do like a little sweetness with it. So anyway, that that was a decent. I give it I think I'd still give it a 4 out of 5. It's better than average. It's really good. Could it be, a bit better? I think if I've got my own PX sherry I like to add to with the eyedropper. If I added a couple of drops to it, I think I would make it perfect for me. But just out of I enjoyed it. It's gone, so we'll just keep it that way, I guess. Steve A says he doesn't have the 2017, sitting on 2018 right now, though. Let me know what you think about that one. Yeah, I was surprised he was able to find this. I got the hell out of my thumb earlier when I was opening this. I'm not sure how I did it even. Probably, oh, there it is. Probably one of these. You got to be careful about these sides of these deals, man. Just slip my thumb right open. That's okay, though. That's what this liquid's for. But this guy is interesting. It's 58.4. Wow. Yeah, that's hot. That's good hot, though. I like a good cast strength type whiskey. I don't know if that's cast strength. I would think it would be since it is so high. Let's take a little look at the at some notes real fast for the classic cut. And we're talking 2017, not the new one, because they are different. European and American oak former sherry casks. Wow, that's great. And one of my favorite 2 words on this bottle that I do see, and I really appreciate this Bob H for helping me out here, is natural color. And that, my friends, is very dark. I like to see that. If it's a natural color, 58.4, I doubt they would bother chill filtering, but you never know. If they do, hopefully, it's not going to mess with the taste too much. I've heard good things about the classic cut. This is these are from cast from Spain, bottled to reveal extraordinary character of a timeless spirit. There you go. Sounds good to me. Let's see if there's anything else. It was a 2017 limited edition bottle, no age statement. Oloroso sherry was used. So this is Oloroso, not PX, but that's okay. I have had some really nice sweet Oloroso sherries, even though it's not PX. It's still, solid taste, and looking forward to diving in here. Put a little lid on it a little bit. I think chill filtering over 46 isn't effective, right? It took me a second to think about that, everyone. I'm thinking that's the case because I think the sweet spot, like if it's between 40 and 46, typically they will do it. Over 46, it doesn't seem like they would even, bother with that. Thanks for hanging out, George Kaplan. Hopefully you can get to watch the whole thing afterwards sometimes. It's affected. It's just unnecessary, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, who in their right mind would put a cube of anything in a glass like this? Thank God for Glencairns, because you can't even fit a damn ice cube in one of them. I mean, I know how Leah feels about water, but I'm the same way about ice cubes or like anything like chilled. The whole concept of all these new whiskey distilleries that are trying to get people to put bottles in freezers and all this nonsense. I'm like, you got to be out of your freaking minds. But a couple of drops of water is not going to mess with it. But I'm not going to do anything to it right now. We're going to go neat, so Lee don't have a freaking fit or anything. He says MacAllan doesn't chill filter, add color, or anything. Good. They don't advertise on their bottles, but they make it known they don't do it at all. That's what I was. That's what I thought. I didn't want to quote it yet, but I just want to make sure. And upright, yeah. Well, the water thing, I'm talking about not water to dilute, but water to a couple of drops to give it a little bit of different molecular character. That's all I'm talking about, and you'll see what I mean. Oh wow, there is some nice spice in this, and dare I say marzipan. There is some marzipan in there, and some. Oh, the sherry is coming through. See, this is when I want to hit. When the Cardhu 18 is nice, but I mean, it's just night and day difference when it comes to a solid, put together, well crafted whiskey. Oh man, strawberries out the yin yang. That's it. Oranges even too. Some nice. I can't tell. I want to say black pepper, but it's really subtle. It's really in the back, not in the front. Mo, it's good to see you, my friend. So glad you got the chance to stop by. If you just got here, please rewatch and you get a chance. It's always good to have your support. I always appreciate your retweets and your and everything you do. Um, Lisa rejoicing with Bob about the water and ice. Now I agree. The ice is just overkill. And then when people started putting bottles in freezers and all that crazy BS, I'm like, come on, just give it to us natural. Let us, do what we want with it. Be on our merry ways. I'd side hazelnuts B8 Imperial Stout. Wow, it sounds good. Where's that from, Whiskey Ace? I'm just curious if that's is that Canadian or is that I'd side hazelnuts B8 Imperial Stout? Huh. DHS says MacAllan nails it at 40% more. I mean, the entry level stuff. I'll be honest. The 12 was a good taste. It's a nice sweet dram, but it didn't really do a whole lot for me. But the, the I didn't really get into. I mean, when I had the Rare Cask Black, now that was a different story. That's one of my favorite scotches of all time. I'm not a fan of the Rare Cask, the basic Rare Cask, really, but the Rare Cask Black was outstanding. Someone's asking about the did the water open up the 18? No, it didn't. It took the celery seed and the white pepper. For me, it took it a little down, which was nice. But with it being such a low ABV, being 40%, it diluted it to not let me play with it. And I think if they gave it some justice, 43 to 46%, 46 would be ideal, 48 would be perfect. Then if I added a couple of drops, I think it would have, opened it up more. Or I wouldn't even had to add any water to it, and it would have just been solid out of the gate, good out of the glass. I think the older 12 in the red box. I don't think I've had that one. I think the one I had was at a bar. It was like the regular, I want to say a white grayish, white or grayish box maybe. It's been a while back. 12 is good unless you're doing a tasting with other sherry scotches and it comes up a little flat. Yeah, that's the thing with any entry level though. You're going to get you know, it should be $50 though. I think DHS is right. That's where MacAllan kind of like I like what they do. The edition 2 is another one of my really favorite scotches. I wish I still had anything that one left. I blew through that bottle pretty quickly, and it kind of reminds me of this one. Ooh, that's nice. I think the edition 2 has a little more, maybe a little spice in it, but this one's got some more sherry in your face. Really nice raspberry compote, strawberry compote jam. I mean, I don't get the seeds, of course, because there's no seeds in it. But I mean, if I had like seeds, man, it would be like I'm eating like toast with strawberry jam on it. It's so damn good. Oh, we just got edition two the other day. Haven't opened it yet. Oh, you're gonna love this, Steve. You're gonna love the edition two, man. If you like MacAllan's stuff like this, if you like the classic cut, you're gonna love that one. I think it might be a little more spicy, maybe even a little more sweet when it comes to like brown sugar or molasses kind of thing. But it's still solid, still good. I think. DHS hated, and he hated the 2 and the 3. The 4 was, however, a home run. Wow, that's a whole different. Like the funny thing about the 3 is I heard that's like a lemon, kind of a lemon curd, lemon meringue kind of a thing, which wouldn't be my thing at all. The 4, I can't remember what the 4 is like. DHS, let me know what you got from the 4. Because I don't think the 3 would have done it much for me. That's why I haven't even picked one up yet. I need to get one though before they are all out of it. He spiked the 2 and 3 with Pete. Even mixed it with Coke. Oh man, DHS, you are crazy. That's sacrilegious. You're out of your mind. Lee says yours will be a bottle of cast strength water that you can add whiskey until you like it. Cast strength water. You're crazy. Oh, Oddsides from Michigan. Oh, okay. Yeah, Michigan's always got some good stuff going on, I've heard. Everyone should watch the Scotch test dummies. They are doing a series shootout. Are they doing it? Hopefully they're not doing it now. That would not be cool. Hopefully everyone means like they did it earlier, and if it's like a recording, or they did it with the edition 2 and maybe the classic, things like that. These 2 would definitely be on the list, I think. What didn't you like about the 2 DHS? I'm just curious. What didn't you like about it at all? I mean, to say it's undrinkable, man, that's saying something. I was thinking MacAllan's all marketing, but everything I've had has been good. Yeah, Steve, I'm the same way. I don't know if like the triple cask, I think it's a 15. The thing about MacAllan is it's not bad. It's just for the price that they charge you is what gets me. It's kind of like Dalmore. Dalmore, I don't think is a bad whiskey per se. As far, I'm not a big fan of the coloring. I wish it was a heavier mouth coat. That I agree with a lot of people. But it's not bad tasting whiskey. If you offer me a Dalmore 18 or a King Alexander, I'm going to definitely be like, thank you so much. Pour me a dram of it, add a couple drops, enjoy it. It's perfect. But with MacAllan's and Dalmore's prices, that's where I kind of get a little like pissed. That's what kind of Hey, cheers, Kenneth. Thanks for stopping by, man, and hanging out as long as you could. Merry Christmas to you. The first 2 episodes are out now for everyone. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, check it out because I like Scott and Bart's videos, and whenever they do shootouts, it's interesting because it's funny because when they did the Pete stuff, I haven't saw the Sherry ones, but I did watch the Pete ones. They're right in the same kind of area I'm in. I love the Our Big Grooves and the Dark Cove and the Kilholman original cast strength. Those are my like top whiskeys, and that's what I forgot to talk about. And I need to talk about the notes on the palate on this. Top 5 whiskeys, and it's a little late into the broadcast here, but that's okay. Half hour in, I'll try to mark it for people so they can find it. Top 5 for 2018 for Telex. It's mine. It's not yours. It's my top 5. Okay. I'm not going to do this in any like certain order because I can't pick really because of the mood I've got to be in. But my top 5 are the Lagavulin 18 Fashil from this year was outstanding. The Ardbeg Grooves from 2018, outstanding. The Lafroig Carriages 2018 Fino Cask, outstanding. The Balvenie Doublewood 17, I love that one. It's one of my favorites. I like it even more than the Tune. Don't tell anybody, but I had the Tune at a whiskey expo. Maybe it was just a bad bottle, but it didn't really impress me very much. I hope for that kind of price, I'd much rather get 2 bottles of the Double Wood 17. That's just me. And finally, the Springbank Cast Strength 12. Those are, I think, solid. If I had to leave right now, go to the desert island, deserted island, I could take only 5 bottles out of everything I have. And there's some honorable mentions, like Bunnahabhain 12 and 18. Those are honorable mentions. Glen Scotia 15. Octomore, any version, 7.1. 7.2 is my favorite. The 7.3 I didn't really like very much, but need to get my hands on the 8s. Bruichladdich Black Arts. Those are honorable mentions, but I think that's a pretty good solid 5. Old Pulteney 17, everyone. I don't know, man. I mean, I like it, but it's just, it doesn't have the smokiness and the funkiness that I like from a Springbank. The Glen Scotia is very, very close to being there, but I'm sorry, man. The Old Pulteney is good, but I just can't get into it as much as some of you guys on the 12. I mean, a lot of people love the 12, and I didn't think it was all that great. I gave it like 3 out of 5. I thought it was an average whiskey. It was okay. 17 is a 3.75 to 4 is much better. 21 is really nice. I mean, you can't get any more. Hard to find. That's a 4.75 to 5 whiskey. That's a really good one. Yeah, I love this Glen Scotia 15. That's probably if I could have a top 6, as you can see right there, that's like my in my top 6, I have to say. But if I had to sit down and pick 5 right now, those were the 5 that I thought that I had to just take with me right away. I mean, the Highland Park Dark is a new one that I really love too, and it was top 6, top 7. It's just the price is what kills me on that one. I mean, some of these prices are tough to find, for like, you can't get a Grooves anymore. You can't get you probably could find the Fino carriages a lot easier. Grooves you could kind of find if you know where to look in some specialty shops for still get it for about 110, 120. But by next year, when our big drum is going to be the new rum cask, if you don't know already, I cannot wait to get my hands on the committee release for that. I will have one. That's going to be super, but until that comes out, I think the Grooves won't be that too hard to find. Yeah, $300 is what kills me on the dark. I mean, if it was 200, I would be all into that. That would be awesome. Rocco's digging that Kilchoman Castring Court. Yeah, that was also in my top for. I mean, it was so hard to pick a top 5. I should have said this is my top 10. That would be a lot easier. Top 10 would be the Ardbeg Grooves, Lefroy Carriages Fino, the Kilchoman Original Cast Strength, the Springbank 12 Cast Strength, the Bunnahabhain. We'll go with the 12 since it's just so damn nice and affordable. The Balvenie 17 Double Wood. What am I missing? The Lagavulin 18 Fishkiel, which it's a hard to find. In fact, you can't get that, get the Lagavulin 9. That one's new. If you can't get that, get a 16. It's always good. Kilkerran 12's always damn good. Talisker 10, always damn good. And if I throw that one more in there, I think I'd throw the Highland Park, the Dark. I think that would be a good solid, maybe a 10 for me. Groove CR is really good, yeah. Even the regular, I haven't opened it yet. I've got an unopened bottle of the LR of the Grooves too. My CR I finished a long time ago, but the LR, I've got a bottle of it, and I mean, it's going to be a little more diluted, of course, but I think it'll still be solid without even adding anything to it. That's my hope, and that's usually what Ardbeg does. They just the CRs are perfect in their own way, but you can add a couple of drops and enjoy it. And the LRs, that whenever I get those, I just don't touch them. I just drink them as they are and go with that. Balvenie Peat Week is the best drinking peat with common. The Belgian Peat Week, I have that. I did have that. It is good. It's a different kind of peat, but it's better than a lot of other ones I've had that I did not like too much, like Timmental, uh, Enoch Flounder. I wasn't really into that one very much. I did like their cutter though. The cutter was actually pretty decent, but the Belgian Peat Week, I think I had a 17 and a 14. I can't remember. I'm not sure if I can't remember if the 14 or 17, if the 17 was much better, but they were both good. I think I remember them being both good at least. Yeah, top sounds like a top 12. It's really hard to narrow that down. Top for Pete for Bronco is the 8. Yeah, the 8. That's my least favorite, honestly, out of the Lagavulin series, only because it doesn't have any sherry at all in it. If it had Oloroso at least, or something else like a cask influence, if it had like a Manzanilla cask, Amontillado cask, um, oh gosh, what do you call it? A Fino sherry, a Madeira cask. I mean, so many choices. If it had a little more something going on with the 8, I would like it a lot more. If I do want to like a breakfast toasty, uh, just a nice ham and bacony dram, then it is pretty good. But I have to be in the mood for that Lagavulin 8 just by itself without something else. Peat Week in the 17 or nothing I like. Well, there was two. There was a Peat Week 14, I thought, and a Peat Week 17, 2 different years. Let me look it up. I'm probably forgetting something or confusing it with something else. But I could have swore that the Peat Week 14, yeah. Okay, 14 year. There's a 2003 edition, a 2 edition. Let me see something. Peat Week 14. Let's put Balvenie in here so we know what we're looking at. Balvenie. Annual event, different years, taste different. Yeah. But I thought they had a 17, didn't they? Maybe they didn't. Huh. Maybe I'm just thinking of a straightforward peated 17. I bet that's what it is. And I do remember that I did like the the week 14. So if the 17's different, which I think that's what happened, PB 14, peated cast 17, that's what it is. Yeah. I like them both, but I can't remember which one I liked better, sadly. Probably if the Peat Week was a little more specialized in some way, if it had an interesting peat to it, I might have liked it more, but it's been a while. That one's, I think, from last year that I actually had. I cannot, let me see if I have any notes on it. I don't remember putting this in here, but you never know. Let's see if I have any. Nothing on the 17. I could have sworn I did do these though. Last, huh. Let's see something. 14 Peat Week 2003. I'm surprised I don't have a newer one than 3 in here. That's a little crazy. It was definitely at an expo, so it was probably, you know, something I had in passing, and I think that's why it's not very memorable. So let's get back to this before Bob falls asleep on me. Hey, Keith, thanks for stopping by, man. I really love the spice on it and the sweetness. And I mean, for a 58.4, it doesn't even burn. I mean, you could drink this neat all day long. Can it take a couple of drops? Hell yeah, I can. So I'm going to put just a couple little bitty ones. Out of the gate, though, really well done. I can't really knock it for much. The only thing I think that would help it Don't hate me, but if it had age to it, that might help with a little bit. Other than that, though, it's hard to knock it. Natural color, not chill filtered, well done, cast strength. It's got the sherry. It's got the both the European and the American oak. I mean, what the hell else do you want, really, right? Put one more drop in there. All right. I have a feeling this will make it perfect. Just a couple little bitty droplets. In my opinion, that Mac CC can take water like very few others. Yeah. Yeah, it is a very nice Christmas dram, man. And Merry Christmas to you, Bob H. I really appreciate it. I'll have to send me like a wish list or something. Maybe I could find something. And next time I get a chance to come up to New York, maybe I can surprise you with something. I don't know. I'm sure you and KB can find just about anything you want, but you never know. Maybe I could find something that you can't. I might save that Lagavulin 18 for Shield, maybe if you guys haven't had it yet. Maybe that'd be good. Also, I think I've got a couple other ones in the closet that might work. We'll have to see. Yeah, Max CC and Die Hard. That's a good idea, DHS. I like how you think, man. I might actually watch that later tonight. A good Christmas. The kids in bed, the wife's asleep. Watch a classic true Christmas movie. I already saw Elf this year. I saw A Christmas Story. Just say no to molecular aging or maturation. Oh, Mose, did you get a chance to go to the New York Festival? I wasn't sure if you were there. If you were there and I didn't run into you, I really apologize. I would have loved to say hi to you. There was a station there, I'm glad you brought that up, called Glyph. Now, they're a new distillery that does this new thing with molecular, what do you call it? Creation even. They don't even use like actual casks. They like somehow do this all by chemical, and it was one of the first ones I wanted to hit, just to ask questions and see how well or how bad or what it was like. And gotta agree to disagree. If you drink enough cast drink whiskey, you might start to believe Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Oh, okay. How about Die Hard Part 2 when they were at Dulles Airport? Is that Christmas? I think that was a Christmas movie, wasn't it? I used to work for Dulles Airport, so it kind of brings a little true to home. That was Part 2, though, if I remember correctly. The reviewers are saying that 2018 is better than 2017, which is a higher ABV. Thoughts? Huh. I'm surprised. It's good the way it is. 17. Maybe the 18 is a little older juice, maybe by a year, maybe made a bit of a difference. It must be an airport movie. A lot of it was filmed at Dulles Airport, so it's a Christmas airport movie, even better. Steve doesn't. Oh, I think we created a controversy here about Die Hard being a Christmas movie. Never mind. This was like the big debate this year for some reason. That movie's what, 30 years old? It's crazy. I'm surprised people are just talking about it being whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not. All of a sudden, it's crazy. Anyway, back to Mose. Were you in New York for that at all? And if you were, I'm sorry to miss you, but yeah, the Glyph thing was kind of a letdown. They let me taste it, and it had some oaky notes to it. It had characteristics of what you would want to find in a whiskey, but there was something just off. And just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind, I had Andrew from the Scotch for Dummies come over with who else was there? I can't remember if it was Mark or Sean or Drew. One of the other ones came over, and the they were kind of saying that something just wasn't quite there yet. So maybe in 10 years they might. I don't know if they'll. I kind of hope they don't, because if you could just create certain tastes out of the lab that tastes like a 20-year-old cask strength, Manzanilla cask whiskey that's aged in Islay and all that, and if you can just create that in the lab, it's gonna be kind of strange. I don't, and the cost and all that. I'm not sure how that's going to be affected by all that kind of thing. Overall score, really nice finish. The finish on that first, the Cardhu 18. I don't know if I got into it, but it was it was short to medium. It was okay. A little spicy though and dry. This one, a couple drops, didn't kill it at all. Spice is still nice. Sweetness is still there, subtle though. Cinnamony, nutmeg, maybe a little dark chocolate even. It's kind of funny. It's reminiscent of a really good batch of the Abelauer Albina without the tannin level. The Albina might be a little more heavier on the mouth coat and a little heavier on the tannins, but or something that gives it. I mean, that's the kind of thing that gives you headaches. If you're like, if I drink too much red wine, I get headaches from it. This I don't think has that, but has the profile, and it actually has some other some pepper in it. Finish is not bad, but it is a little dry. Sherry's hard though to have a nice, really long finish without being dry. I think was this Oloroso? Pretty sure it was Oloroso if I remember right. It's not on the bottle, but that's the catch. Really, really well done, man. It's kind of like if you took a Glenmorangie Lasanta and just injected it with like 1,000 steroids, and then boosted the ABV up, gave it a little more spice, nutmeg, cinnamon type thing. I'm trying to think of how to score this. The only thing I could ding it for is if I wish just a little bit slight dry on the finish, but still a nice long finish. Still going. I do like the spice though. I like the white pepper. It's the age could help too. That's only the two things: dryness and age. Everything else is pretty damn perfect, I have to say. And I love sherry bombs, and this is up there. Excuse me. I'm going to say a really nice big 4.5, because it's just with the ABV, natural color, you get the two, the European and American oak, you get the Los Oloroso sherry. It could change from year to year, so you've got options there. I do. It's definitely it's got some nice, really dark chocolate notes in the back with it. It gives it kind of like makes me think I'm eating one of those really nice dark chocolate candies with raspberry and like caramel inside of it, like a really hard to say. Other than that, but oh, it's so good. Yeah, meeting John Glazer was insane. And the weird thing is, they were talking about the cork taint being a big thing for wine. For Scotch, I mean, you have to. I think if you know what it is, it helps because if once you first get it, it's kind of like what the heck? That's different. But it has like a musky, attic-y age kind of thing to it. I'm not saying it's good because he obviously didn't like it, but I thought it didn't like kill the bottle completely. I still would have drank, the so-called cork tainted one. But the cool thing about John Glacier, when I asked him about the clanleash thing being an extender versus a thickener, he talked about being an extender. I thought that was pretty cool. He was a nice guy, and hopefully you guys will run into him someday and be able to have a similar, sit down and drink. It was surreal, but really cool. Yeah, the Tandu batch strength, I have had the first one and the second one. I have not had batch 3 yet. Both batch 1 and batch 2 were good. I have heard there's inconsistencies on, I think, batch 2. I didn't have a problem with one. Kind of like the Abelard Abana, though. I've heard there's batch inconsistencies with that, and I did have an issue with that one where the 53 was a really good one, and the 60, I think, 2 was not really as good, but still solid. Haven't had the juveniles yet. That would be something that was on the list. Trying to remember if we had that at the tasting though. Maybe we did. We had so much scotch that night. I'm trying to remember if that was. I think I did try that. Is that a grain or is that a malt? DHS, that juveniles. If it's a grain, it might not have been something I was really into. Like the hedonism doesn't really do much for me, or the muse. I'm not a big grain guy, but juveniles is that new one. I can't remember what it was like though. 'Cause we were doing the Spaniard at the same time. It was just so much whiskey at once. That's a tough call. Not a fan of the Mac CC, but I'm no Mac lover. Steven says, "Oh, Steven, good to see you. I remember you saying something about coming down to Nashville. I do have to go to Louisville for Christmas this year. I won't be able to go as far as south as Nashville this time, but maybe another time we can meet up somehow and hit the vault. That would be cool. I'm always up for hitting a vault. That would be awesome. And if you're ever out in DC, let me know. I'm not sure if you get to travel any at all, but." Definitely on the radar. I don't think no, but it sounds like it was a wonderful time. KBNR, yeah, it was a wonderful time. Most it was one of the most fun trips I've had. The yeah, you had to be in the mood, but I tell you, if you like sherry bombs, other than Abelauer, MacAllan's where it's at. It's like I don't think you can get a better between maybe I guess. Trying to think of the Balvenie Sherry 15-year single cask. That is, I'd say that one, a MacAllan, either this or the Edition 2, and the Abelard Avenar, like my favorite sherry whiskeys I've had so far. Highland Park Dark Origins is up there, but it's kind of different though. I think I like these better. They're just more true to form, in my opinion. The Glendronach single casks, yeah, you got a point there. The Trues, I never had one of their true single casks. Those guys are expensive. Trying to remember, they do have a couple for sale here at my local store, but we're talking like thousands, man. It's crazy. If you're ever in the area and you've got the cash, I can show you where to get a couple a single cask offering though that you'd like. Yeah, the 18 and 21 are definitely in more of my price range. Barely. Come to the vault and we'll partake in a single cask. Oh my lord, I'm on my way. I wish I could fly. Maybe I could like build wings or something. Hazelburn 13 Oloroso would be my go-to. Sure. I haven't had that one. The only Hazelburn I've had so far is a 9-year Barolo cask, which really is okay, but it really didn't do a whole lot for me. I don't know if it's the Barolo part. I mean, I like the flavor, but it just, I don't know, something just seemed missing. I'll have to try that it was a 9-year versus 13. It might be the age might be a big factor too. Thanks a lot for stopping by, Keith. I'm gonna have another pour of this because this is damn good. I can't say no to this, and I really appreciate it, Bob H. You picked a hell of a bottle to send with me on my way back from New York, and the salsa is good, my friend. He's probably asleep already. It's really damn good, and I love the fact that you can put a couple drops on it and not have to worry at all about it diluting it or making it weak or any of that nonsense. It's that's the way whiskey should be, I think. Have a little bit of little play in it where you can get it that perfect, right in the middle, right where you want it. No, and I'm talking just a couple mini drops. It's not even I'm not sure how, I don't even think you can measure that. As much water I put in there. I'm into naked grouse on a budget pie. Oh no, not the grouse, man. I've tried the smoky grouse, and it was just the first day it was okay, it was drinkable, but by the second day, it was rough. There's under the Balvenie 17. Yeah, that's I already finished my bottle, unfortunately, but that's a really nice one. Easy to drink, really nice solid flavor. The age, you can get every note out of it, and it's just so solid. Yeah, if I was gonna like save up and buy a big fat bottle of MacAllan, it would definitely be something like a rare cask black. That would be so awesome. But I think it's up there. I think it's like $300 or $400. I can't remember what the price on it is, but that's one of those unicorns for me. But maybe I might have to save up for that for a special occasion. But yeah, I'm trying to find. I'll have to find like maybe an 18 or a fine oak. I know the 21's pretty pricey. Maybe a fine oak 15 or 18 might be something that I could go for too. That might be interesting. Lee had a fine oak 21 one time. We were at Expo, and it was really good. Really had some nice antique addictness without the quart tank going on. I used to follow the NFL, but since I don't play video games anymore, I can't keep up with the rosters. Yeah. I like the Balvenie 15 strain more than the 17. Yeah. It depends on the mood, everyone. I agree with you there. If I'm in the mood for a sherry bomb, definitely the 15 is a go-to, like a Glendronach. But if I want that real woody, smooth drinking, almost bourbon-like without the corn, that Double Wood 17, man, is so damn good. Hey, Reggie Z, I'm so glad you finally made it. You're a little late to the party, but you're never really late. Does Balvenie make a bad whiskey? Well, I'll tell you what, DHS, I was not impressed by their basic Double Wood 12. I had it at a bar once, and I was kind of like, you know. But it was after, I mean, I started in Isla and Campbelltown. I like real strong, assertive flavors, so kind of like MacAllan 12. It was nice, good, sweet, whiskey. And I do like the MacAllan 12 better than the Balvenie Double Wood 12, but the Balvenie Double 12 just doesn't do much for me. But everything else has been solid. That triple cask I got at the 12, it's a travel retail exclusive. I got a buddy to pick up in Rome. That thing is damn badass too, and it's like only $60 and for a 1.75 liter. You better believe it. It's just too good. Oh, he loves the Double 12. I'm sorry, man. It's just not one you know how you don't like the edition 2? Your edition 2 is my Double 12, man. That's all I can say. I think it was you that said you didn't like the edition 2, which really struck me as strange, but it is what it is. Bob H says, agree, Telex. I've been seeing Scotch as more of a mood fit these days. Depends on the day, what you're recently. Yeah, it's like, most days I wouldn't even want to touch That one I really liked when we were up in New York. That Klein Leash Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottle, man. But that Klein Leash, man, that was so good. And there was a Cragganmore I think we had that was really good. And those are not really my go-to distilleries, but those just hit the spot at that point. I mean, I wanted something refreshing, fruity. The floral didn't really throw me off too much. It was just so nicely mixed and blended and balanced and just hit the spot. And sometimes just some really good 9 to 7 year old will do that, for those cast strength bottles. Man, those are just too good. Everyone says he's a big fan of the 12, but the 14 Caribbean, yeah. He's never liked it. See, I love the 14 Caribbean. That's one of my favorites. 17 is not that much better than the 12. Are you crazy? I thought the 17 was like light years better than the 12, and that was just me. Jason says the 17 is like a double wood 12 plus plus plus. Yeah, I'm the same way. Same to the higher value. Yeah, I like the volume of it. It's yeah. Anytime there's a thin whiskey going on, that's why I mean, I like a Glengoyne 18, but anything like younger than that, it's almost too thin. Glen Grants are the same way. The flavors are good, but they're just so almost too delicate and timid. I like more of a, a thicker profile to it. That's just the way it goes. I never enjoyed any of the Balvenies I've tried. The 12-year, maybe 14 range. Yeah. Yeah, the Caribbean I thought was pretty good. I know everyone didn't like it, but I guess maybe it's the pineapple-y tropical notes threw you off. They didn't want to like it, but I thought it was pretty good. For example, Delmore King was great a year ago. Had it 2 weeks ago from the visit and didn't enjoy it. Bob H., I know you think I'm crazy, but put a couple drops on it, man. Even if it's 40, I'm telling you, it'll open it up and be a lot better. I was the same way when I first tried it, Bob, the King, after having it last year. I was kind of like, it's okay, And then I think Drew was the one that told me, try with this a couple of drops. And he was right. It really made it more enjoyable somehow. I'm not sure how they do it with the 40% ABV, but I do like my ABV, everyone. You're right. It's JHS says the 12 double woods for drinking, not sipping. Yeah, that may be, but when you're in a bar and they're charging you, $20 for a glass or 12, 15, whatever it is, you've got to sip that. You can't be downing those and having 4 or 5 there. That's what I had at the time, was at the bar, so I had to be careful, and I was trying other things too. So, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from in that. It's like a nice sit down there and drink like a half of it, kind of a bottle. Balvenie 12 or Oban 14 are usually my go-tos. Huh. The Oban 14 is another one it's just, I don't know, too much floral stuff going on with that one for me. I appreciate what it is. That Oban Bay Reserve really opened my eyes what Obans could really do with the smoke. But I have yet to have one that really blew me away. Maybe the Distiller's Edition. I can't remember if I've had that one yet. I don't think I've had. I had the 14, the 18, the Bay Reserve, and the Little Bay are the 4 that I think I've had of Oban, and decent. But I need to find something that's like pow, Bay Reserve is my favorite, I think, so far because of the smoke. Excuse me, a really nice smoke going on there. No, I'm not a whiskey snob. Paid like $6 for the 12. $6 for a glass of the 12? Jesus, man. Yeah, Maryland's got some crazy prices. It's not being a snob. It's just the prices here are crazy. I mean, hell, when we were up in New York, man, they were trying to charge $36 for a glass of Talisker 10. I'm not joking. The prices around the East Coast are out just insane. Where are you at, DHS? I'm just curious. Because $6 for any glass of, I mean, you can't get Natty Boh beer for $6 here. And that's local, or Yingling, more or less a Scotch. Are you crazy? I'm not even talking a double. I've heard of Fittercairn, but but is there any distribution? Feather Karen Mo's is they have the Fior, which I know is usually a ready bottle that you can get. The 12 and the Fior. Let me see something. The Fior is a peated offering, 12. Let me see what year this was released. American Oak X Bourbon. Not very popular. The Feather Karens that I've had are independent bottlings. They were kind of I really didn't get into it, but not to say that it's not great. Let me see. The 12s don't really get a whole lot of love. It looks like. Let me see if I go for an older one. 1 second. If I get a better Feather Cairn. Let's see. I'm gonna go 50 here. That's a little too crazy. Yeah, we had like a 7-year Feather Cairn from Battle Hill. I give it a 3 out of 5. It was 56%, so I mean it was high ABV. That was kind of cool, but it was also I don't know. Let me see if my notes on it. It had a lot of lemon zest, tea, sulfur, tannin, leather, and vanilla. Palate neat was way too hot, but heavy water brought a lot of honey and oak, lemon curd, vanilla toffee, and more subtle sulfuric notes. The short finish is uneventful and dry, not horrible like other little bottles I've had, but far from great. It was like a 2.75 out of 5. Because I mean, I just needed too much water. But that was my take on that Feather Cairn. But the regular distillery bottles, it's hard to find those, I have a feeling. But the Fioras are peated, and I have heard of that. I have never seen it available in the U.S., but it's a good question if it's regularly available. Let me see if I can see. Though they've been around since 1824, Feather Cairn is rather unknown to even ardent whiskey fans. This bottle was released in the summer of 2010 as a part of the rebranding effort by their new owners. Fiora is Gaelic for true or pure. It is no age statement release. Blending of a small 15% amount of young, heavily peated whiskey and the older 14 to 15-year-old, more traditionally made whiskey is from first fill ex-bourbon barrels and bottled at 84 proof, 42% ABV, first fill bourbon. Okay. It sounds interesting as a peated bourbon. It's got a sweet profile. I don't know how readily available, especially if it's all the way back from 2010. I mean, that's 8 years old. So finding that, and there's not very many reviews. I only see like 47 tastes. And out of those 47 tastes, it looks like it gets about a 3.55. So probably nothing that you're really missing out there on Moe's. I have a feeling if you're looking for that. Richie Z says, are the Scotch dummies as friendly as they seem on their channel? Oh yeah, man. The guys are like unbelievably nice. They've always been cool from the beginning since I was like the second guest. I think Lee Rayner was the first. I was just like the second guest next to Hoagie. Hoagie might have been before me. I can't remember, but used to pop up behind them on the TV when they started doing live meetings and stuff, and trade a little salsa here and there. And they've always been really cool from the get-go. And I've met them a couple times. This is the second time. I was up in Indianapolis before that. Everyone says, if you fried your palate so much with the cast strength peats, you can't taste sliders besides the flavored water. No, I mean, I can really appreciate lighters. I mean, I love the Dalwhinnie 15. I think I would consider that a very light Highland. I really like it. I appreciate it. I gave it a 4, I think, out of 5. The Dalwhinnie 15. It's a very light. It's one of the most lighter scotches you can get, but I really like it, the flavor, because it's it's a solid scotch. So it's not that I just don't like the real thin stuff. Like, when you get to the Glengoyne, Glen Grant 10 to like 15-year-olds, they're just so damn thin and The flavor is there. It's kind of, I mean, Delamore's like that too. The flavor is there, but you don't get the good stuff till you get like the 18s and up, and that's when you get pricier too. But at least Glengoyne's cheaper than a Delamore at this point. Yeah, Bob's right. They were very, very cool, and KB and Bob were like I said, the best hosts I've ever dealt with in a different city. I've only been in New York like one of the maybe a couple other times in my life, and when we were there, it felt like I was not, I want to say at home because I've never lived there, but it didn't feel like a foreign place. It felt pretty, you know, you know, comfortable. I think is the word I'm looking for. Very good comfort level, and that's hard to get in New York because most New Yorkers, man, I'll be honest with you, they don't really have time for you. But Bob H is definitely I know he's more of a New Jersey guy, but he's like the nicest New Yorker I've ever met next to KP. Yeah, Steve and I are on the same wavelength about the mouthfeel. The thinness is just what Richie says. You'll like the 13 if you don't have it yet. Very meaty, unpeated spring bank. Yeah, I'll try it. I wasn't too down with the 9 Barolo, but it was just one bottle I have up there. It's been a long time since I've had it, so that's one distillery I haven't had in a while is Spring Bank. I'll have to go back to them. I need to get a 21 and an 18. 21 and 18 are definitely on the list. The Long Row 18 and the Red are definitely on the list. The Hazelburns, I'll definitely see if I can find that 13 Oloroso because you guys aren't the first people I've heard that like that one. To try that. Jason Coates, never tried it for that price, move it up. Southern Kansas, wow. That's got to be rough, man. I mean, you do have Wichita. I'm sure Scott Bart could tell you the best place. Well, you probably get the best places for them because you are the whiskey scout. I forgot about that. Never mind. Scotch at the New York Shore. Oh, New Jersey Shore this summer. Hell yeah. I'm up for that, especially if you have food. Enjoyed Chivas 12 at a friend's house. Yeah. Yeah, some of these blended ones are nothing to sneeze at. I remember recently having a blind tasting, and I was trying to figure out which one was over 12 years old, which one was under, which one was blended. And the blended tasted like an aged whiskey, and it was the Douglas Sling Scallywag. It had this character to it that gave me like the idea it was a 15-year-old whiskey. I'm not sure why, but it was actually really well done. And if you chose like some crappy blend, I probably would have been like, well, this is definitely the blend. But Douglas Sling does have some nice bottles. Timorous Beastie, I had an aged something of that. I think it was like was it an 18 or 15. Might have been an 18. Really well done. That was a really good bottle. So there you go. You do get what you pay for sometimes. Didn't have my first whiskey until 50. Didn't touch this stuff until the early days. Wow. I'm glad you matured too, Bob. Yeah. I'm the same way, though. I've only been doing this for a couple of years. Didn't have it until, let me see, I'm 40. I'll be 44 in October, I guess. So 42. And that's some of these guys have been doing it for a long, long time. But I had my share of bourbon being from Lowell, but just never really got into it. Even, I hate to say it, but even moonshine, I've had my share of like actual decent, good moonshine, and the corn just doesn't do it for me. I just don't like corn. I wish I did because I could be a master by now of corn-based whiskey. Tell you probably every little nuance about it, but just didn't do it for me. Even the weeded stuff, like the Pappy stuff, it's okay. I've had the 23 and just kind of like, yeah, it's okay. It's not my thing. But Scotch malt, oh, I love some malt. I could drink malt all the day. Started late at 40, yeah. But I'm the same way. Do you drink beer? Yeah. I started out with when starting to drink actual, and I don't consider like Old Milwaukee when you're, you know, a teenager by the drinking log. Old Milwaukee, Milwaukee's Best, that kind of stuff really isn't beer. Meisterbrow, I've had it all. Natural Light, Masterbrow. Let's see, Michelob Dark, and all that. But um, my favorite, like just off the wall next to it, like a Newcastle is a pretty good beer. I like a Guinness is one of my favorites. I know it's not very high ABV usually, unless you get to like the foreign or extra stout. Um, I do like those. I have to be in the mood for it, but just a good draft. I think it's a solid, good beer, like for taste. Warm me up. That's one of my favorites. My honeymoon was over in Dublin, and went to Guinness and had the North Star, which was a one of a kind 1 year brew. It was really probably my favorite of all time, of any beer I think I've ever had. They just opened up a new distillery for Guinness here in Baltimore, and they supposedly have some one-off brews. I got to go down there and check it out. Heard they have good food too, so we'll have to check that out. But other beer besides Newcastle, Guinness, of course. Any porters or stouts, pretty much, I'll try. Like Lancaster Milk Stout's a good one. Um, I usually stick to the darker stuff. Bodyton's, though, is a good light beer. The Guinness has got a blonde ale that's pretty good. Oliver's, I'm not sure if anyone knows Oliver's beer. They do a lot of different. They have one called Modern Life is Rubbish. That's one of my favorite, just local to here kind of beers I've had. Other than that, but I haven't really drank beer in a long time. After I got out of beer and I got into Scotch, that's typically all I like to drink. Now there's so much to pick from. It's like get a kid in a candy store. I mean, and even though I've had a lot, as you can tell, I still have a ton of distilleries that I have not touched yet that I've got to try. I only like the dark British, Newcastle, and the real German Hefeweizen. Yeah, I know. I don't know the dark British yet, unless you're just talking about just dark British beer in general. Newcastle, of course, and the German Hefeweizen. Yeah, I agree with you there. I do like that. My favorite beer, and I'm not into beer much anymore, is in Sierra Nevada. Oh, Celebration. Yeah, Sierra Nevada's got some good ones. Negra Modelo's got some good ones too. And honestly, if I want like a light beer drink, if I'm drinking, Corona Extra with a lime, I can, drink all, that pretty much all day and be happy. Hey, Gawkin, good to see you. Kamahashiv. And for you, I guess it'd be Tony Mahagan. I can't remember. Good to see you. I've been having a little bit to drink, so my Gaelic, either Scottish or Irish, is going to be piss poor. I'm going to tell you right now. Most says, I wonder if new Rosebank, single malt, will be able to live up to the legacy. Yeah, that's the thing. Most, you got a good question on that. I noticed that Diageo is kind of shaking the dust off of, I guess they're doing Brora, or is it Port Ellen, or is it both? Can't remember. And Rosebank is one of those other ones that's getting the dust shook off. They recently did a Pittyvac, Pittiyvaich. I think it's Pittyvac, something like that. I've had an offering by them, and it's really good, but man, it's really pricey right now. I liked it. I don't know if I'd pay $300+ for it, like the friend I got the sip from did, but they're doing both Brora and Port Ellen, man. Those are unicorn, ultra unicorn bottles to me. I've never tasted a Brora. I've never tasted a Port Ellen. I bet it's like better than freaking drinking. Think of the best liquid you could possibly think of. I bet it's better than that. I mean, that's what I got in my mindset, because I love Isla, and Port Ellen is as Isla. I can't remember if Brora is where they're located in the same exact area. I know Brora is like a Kleinleach kind of thing, so I do love my Kleinleach too. So I'm sure it's damn good. If the Kleinleach now is based off of the old Brora stuff, but either way, I'd love to have a taste. Never had a Rosebank. I have heard of the distillery, but yeah, Brora is Kleinleach. Rosebank, I've heard a lot of good things about, but I've never tried it. If anyone's got any extra salsa and they don't mind sending it my way, I would love to try it. Not that anybody's crazy enough to send it this way, but I tell you what, man, I would love to say I've had a Brora or a Port Ellen or a Rosebank. Um, I've had Dallas Dew. It's interesting. It's it's good. It's just nothing like anything else I've ever had. And Pityvac is the same kind of thing. It's these distilleries that are kind of dead now. They have a good profile, but the prices they're charging for some of this stuff is unfreaking real. And I'm sure it's the same thing for Brora and Port Ellen. I'm sure that they're nice, tasting whiskeys, but are they worth $1,100, $1,500, $2,000 for a bottle of that? Come on, guys. You know better than that. And that's why they're still charging for it, because people will be silly enough to pay for it. Mm. I'd love to have it, but if I spent that kind of money on something, my wife would kick my ass. I'm not joking. I would be dead. Oh, Steven says, when I open in PE, Port Ellen, I'll send you some. Oh, Jesus, man. Holy moly. I would be. I would. I'd have to bow. Yeah, if you don't send anything that's crazy amount, I would feel really, really bad. Tabach, my glass peated blend from Alice Sky. Ooh, 40. Alice Sky is such a good one. I love a lot of their stuff. Have you had Redbreast 12? I have not tried any of the really good higher end Irish stuff. I need to try Redbreast and I need to try Middleton. Those are the two that are on my must try list. Connemara is kind of on there, but I've heard some really bad things about their peated stuff, so I'm kind of like scared. I don't know anyone that's tried a Connemara that's liked it, so I'm not sure if I should even try that. If you've had a Connemara, let me know what you think about it. If it's as bad as they say, or if it's worth a try. It's triple distilled, I think, as most Irish stuff is. But oh God, here comes Daniel. Slanchava, Daniel. I knew you wouldn't be far behind, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, we're going into overdrive now. We're gonna be drinking from the bottle here in about 5 minutes, I have a feeling. The had a Capano, a Napog. Huh? I don't think I've heard the name, but I've definitely never heard any reviews on it. Anybody had a Connemara? I'm just curious if you liked it or if it was a drain pour. Powers John's Lean. Huh. Is that Irish, Jason? I'm just curious if Jason's saying that what Richie said was a fantastic. Oh, the 12 cast strength. I got to get my hands on that. Pass on Connemara, but get Redbreast cast strength. Have you guys had Middleton? I know the Scotch for Dummies were all up in arms about the Middleton being good, but I'm not sure if they're the only ones that think that, or some of the other guys are Middleton fans as well. How that works. No red coats here, Johnny Bravo. Yeah. His coat's so red, it's freaking blood. He's bleeding all over the place. That's just wrong. I did. It was peated and not good in my opinion. Okay, so we'll stay away from the. Was that the Connemara or the Middleton you're talking about, Daniel? I'm just curious. Stick with the Middleton distillery. It's hard to go wrong. Redbreast, Powers, JL, and Middleton. Okay. Powers, JL. I'm trying to think if I'm probably thinking JB. Middleton is Jameson. Okay. Middleton, very rare, is light but excellent. Yeah, I've got so much with Scotch to do. It's hard to get away because once I get through, I'm going to do like some Eberfeldy, some Aaron distilleries that I haven't touched yet, and there are some out there. then I'm probably going to get into a lot of the Scotch Malt Whisky Society bottles. But I might have to tackle some of that stuff. Redbreast 12 CS is very good. Connemara and NAS is comparable to Beaumont 12. Interesting. Okay, it's probably a little Connemara. It's probably yeah, a little thin. It sounds like, and the peat's probably a little strange. That's how I felt about the Anok Flounder and the Timitol Peaty Tang. Those drams are peated, but man, it's just not my kind of peat. I just could not get into it. Okay, as my son says, I'm cooked crispy. Merry Christmas, Bob, and I'm still going to enjoy this, and I'm going to bring a little bit to my the family and have them have a taste, and I'll be saying cheers to you from Kentucky. And while we're there, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do a show. Let's see. Next Thursday might be interesting. I might have to do one live from the holler, and I'm talking like the real holler. If it's the 27th, yeah, I'm going to be like in rural Kentucky. I'm going to be visiting my dad that lives in Breckinridge County, which is off of Rough River in the middle of the state. I usually do have internet connectivity, but man, we're talking the hills. We're talking like, if I said Highland Park, they'd be like, "Where the hell is that?" You know, that kind of thing. So I might try to figure out a way to do a live show there. That'd be funny. It's probably be the only live show ever done from the middle of the holler in Kentucky. But I have to figure out a way to do it. Oh my gosh. DHS says that he hopes that I do a full quig tonight. I'm not sure what that means. I'm kind of scared. I know food quig. I think I have an idea. I bet you're talking about some of his crazy 5-6 hour like splurges where he just has a show that just goes on like for eons. I'm still having fun. I mean, I have a few bottles I haven't touched yet, so you never know. But man, I don't know. I don't have to work tomorrow, but I do have to be careful. I do have to pack because I do have to drive Saturday morning to go back to Louisville. Like serious. Like then go to the hollers after Christmas on the 26th and visit my dad. It's gonna be crazy. Oh, Jason likes the quick marathons too. Well, we'll see what we can do. Oh my goodness. They start out gross but devolve into a chocolate malty thingy. I thought he was talking about the fest the quick fest or something. Quickathon. Louisville, yep. And you better say it right. I know where you live. It's not Louisville. It's not Louisville. It's Louisville. Richie says, I've seen Quake's show where he actually passed out. Wow. That's pretty good. I know. I'm not doing any shirtless crap. That's for damn sure. Then there's the open door being. Well, the funny thing is, I do have my own basement dwelling around the corner here. It doesn't have any doors to it, so you might hear me piss if I really have to go bad enough. But I think I'll spare you guys that if I possibly can. Thankfully, I'm doing pretty good right now. I'd like to officially redefine a 60 milliliter pour as a quick dram. Yeah. It's not Louisville, it's Louisville. Louisville. Crackhead. My mom was in this channel tonight. She'd kick your ass, Daniel. I'm not joking either. I think she'd probably take you out too. Time for Avena 44. Oh, you bastard. Oh, I'd like kill for a 44, man. That batch has got to be unfreaking real. Oh, Quick has done like a 7-hour live stream. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Well, you never know. We might have to see what we can do. Even the people living in Louisville debate how to say it. That's bullshit. Excuse my French. If you're from Louisville, you say Louisville. I'm telling you. There's no option. Just put the gem sock in your mouth. That's right. Ooh, 78 ball Blair. You're a big bastard. We've gone from, what was that first one? We've gone from an Abana 44 batch to a ball Blair 78. 70 freaking 8. Oh yeah, Versailles, man. Now you know. Now you know you're from Kentucky when you know how to say Versailles. That's right. And we don't say Versailles as they do en français. It's Versailles. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know if I can unedit your post there, Whiskey Ace. You might have to mask that. I might have to go monetized here before long. I got to be careful what you bastards say. I tend to say Louisville, but locals, yeah. Absolutely not, bro. I had an RE in college. He was big. You're out of your mind. I've been on batch 26. That's oxidizing as we speak. It's still amazing. I bet it is, man. I would love to have anything before 55 would be an awesome dram. Oh, I haven't had that in over a year, too. I had it last Christmas, matter of fact, was my go-to dram was a Albana 54, 52. I can't remember the exact batch. I can look it up, but really nice. It's a 46 opened along with a 38 and 27 unopened. Damn, man. How do you guys buy this stuff and not open it? Like, I know you're probably buying it like all at once and getting it, and just storing it, but Versace, man's bringing out the bourbon. Oh, you guys are crazy. Let me know, Telex. I'll send you a sample. What sample of what there, Richie? Are you talking about the Amana? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we might have to do a little salsa spread. Telex at outlook.com. If you need to get a hold of me, if you're interested in salsa, doing anything like that, Telex at outlook.com is the best way to do it. And I do have some bottles here and there that I can dish up salsa. So figure out something, I think. Let to see, do a little side chat. And DHS says, I've come home with 10 bottles and opened them all that night. Didn't drink them all. Just feels weird to have unopened bottles. Yeah. My God, you guys have got some super bottles out there. Oh, it's Mark Rhoda. Hey, Mark. Good to see you, man. Oh, Mark, question for you. And just for you, I'm using your coin, the Scotch. Or do you have your coin with you, Mark? If you don't have your coin with me, you owe me. I think you owe me a dram, right? You can't show it to me, so I guess I gotta just trust you that you have it with you. But Mark, have you had the Classic Cut 2017 or any year? If you haven't had the Classic Cut, what'd you think of it, man? I really like this one. Bob H went out of his way on this one. This is solid. I know it's not the craziest, most expensive bottle in the world, but man, it's solid. Let me go back to comments here. Serve chips with that. Oven open at one time is my limit. No, I don't blame you, Whiskey Scout. Yeah, I mean, I never had more than one bottle at a time of that stuff, but I've had just a couple over the time, and but having like 3 or 4 like sitting on the shelf, that's got to be unreal, especially if you're going back to like the 40s, 30s, 20s batches, man. That's insane. Of course I have it. Oh, of course. Mark's bringing his French out. You bastard. Oh, man. DHS for whiskey, it's hard for me to hold off opening bottle unless it intentionally buy extras not to open. Yeah, that's same. I'm the same way. I love this. If you're asking me, Mark, on this one, what It's outstanding, man. It's definitely. I gave it a 4 point. I'm sorry. I gave it a 4.5 because the only thing I could ding it for is I need a little more age and I need a little less dryness on the finish. But other than that, if that's all I'm bitching about, then I'm having a great day. All right, Steven. I appreciate it, buddy, and I'll. If I don't have anything that you're looking for, I always will try my best to reciprocate if I can. Um, Same way with you, Richie. I know you said it's not needed, but I feel guilty if I don't. So I'll try to see what I can do. It's hard to keep up with some of you guys, though. You have some really nice things to send and everything, and I still got to get a couple. Like with Paul and Prane, they've sent me some stuff. I haven't even opened yet. I got to get through some of this stuff and get some things sent out too. It's pretty crazy, but it's fun doing blind tastings and that kind of stuff. Not sure if I can compete with all those drams, but I collect imaging. How great it could be. Yeah. Imagining how, yeah, Mos, I hear you there, man. I'm the same way with some of these unicorn bottles. I can't imagine some of this stuff, but if you're rich, strategically pick bottles on yeah, not rich. He's single. Jason Coates, that's a big difference there. Yeah, I can't say that here. I got a kid too. Just okay. DHS, my bottles are overtaking my dishes. It's a good problem. More bottles per paper plates. Yeah, it's funny. I just told my wife I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's say 5 or 6 shelves on this backside. I've got the 3, 4, 5 or so here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you don't even see on the other end of the room here. It's a fairly large room that goes down. So my goal, I think, is I'm going to leave a spring bank. I'm going to pick like the best one. I'm going to leave an Ardbeg, leave the Lefroy, leave the Bunnahabhain. I'm going to pick one of every distillery and try to line it up that way. And start from over here, where the Highland Park is now up here, but just keep going. Go from Eberfeldy and go all the way down to the Z's. There's a Z distillery, and see if I can fit them all in here. And I told her in the room, I've got this plan where I've got some more shelving I'm going to have to put in this other room to put some canisters that I don't want to necessarily throw away. So I'm going to have to figure that out. She didn't complain at me, so I think I'm okay for now. I'm gonna have to like expand though. I've got a plan to expand. No anything payment. Well, that's nice enough. Thank you so much there, Steven. I appreciate you having fun. Mark says you've got some good whiskey yourself. Tell us about yourself, sir. I'm trying not to. A lot of these are empty though, so keep that in mind. Not all these have juice in them. Some of them do, but some of them don't. So that's something I'm working on though on the side. I've got a lot of beer glasses. Oh yeah, those are all upstairs. My British pint glasses. There's nothing better than a solid, true British pint glass. You can't go wrong with the GB. I thought I only had one single here. Do you have a lady? Yeah. Wish I bought an extra little book edition one, for example. Oh yeah. If you're talking about the MacAllan edition one, or something else there, Whiskey Ace, I'm curious. Jason says we see that you wall behind you. Yeah, I gotta extend it out that way. Paper plates. This needs more context. Got a few empties. Just catching up with some comments here. Did you ever revisit the 15? That 15 did not last very long. Let's take a quick look. I think that one's gone. I think I blew through that one fairly quickly. Yeah, it's that one is toast, and it was good. I remember that one being the funny thing about Springbank is their drams are so different every time you I mean, from the 10 to the barley to the cask strength to the burgundy to the green, the bourbon, the 15. I mean, I've never had one that's like another in its same type. They're the most diverse distillery, I have to say, that I think I've ever had. But they've all been solid. I've never had a bad Springbank. The 15 was kind of, I think the only thing that threw me off a little bit was I think the ABV was a little lower than what I expected it to be. Let me look that up, make sure before I say that, though, because I can't remember offhand. I don't want to get back up and take a look, but it's 46. Yeah, it was a little lower than some of these other ones, like the I think the burgundy and the green and some of those were higher. So that kind of, I think, threw me off a little bit when I tried it. Did I like it right out of the gate? 46 for the 13 green. Let's see something here. I'm sure that the let's see, that burgundy has got to be, yeah, 53.5. I mean, that thing is much higher. And the 19 Portwood, I'm pretty sure I had was a bit higher. Let's take a look real fast. 52.4. So that's where they kind of threw me off. Of course, even the cask strength 12, you know, is hot compared to some of these others. Let me see if 56.2 on the cask strength. So I think even the bourbon 14 is up there, 55.8. Yeah, so my only complaint, and I don't want to say complaint, but just something that kind of threw me for a loop was the on the 15 was the lack of ABV. Only because I was so used to the strength of the other ones. I did enjoy the 15 though. I did enjoy it. As you can see, it's all gone. Local barleys are their gems. Yeah, that 10 I had was really good. I need to get an 11 and a 16 eventually, but it's kind of a tough one to find for under $190, which is kind of pricey for that. That's the issue there. I'm trying to catch up with comments here. The very most recent Springbank 12. No, the one I've had is that one up there, the black and the all black and red. I haven't had the newer version, which I think is batch number. I just saw it. Give me 1 second. Which I didn't even know they had numbered batches, but this one says Springbank 12-year cask strength batch 17. And the bottle looks different than that. It's got more of the 15 characteristics. That 15 is a newer bottling, it looks like. I guess they've changed the way that they're doing their boxes and bottlings, but a semi-annual release on this 12, it looks like. It aged a combination of ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks around 60 to 60-40 or 70-30 ratio, depending on the vatting. The 17 batch isn't listed anywhere on the bottle, but has a ladder ratio. Whiskey nerds, Springbank lovers keep track of the different batches by the ABV, which varies slightly with each new iteration. It is non-chill filtered. It has no added color. The batch is 56.2 and has been released in the UK in 2018 August, with other countries to follow. So by now, I'm sure it's, well, I would think it's available over here. 56.5, 3, and 2. This one was a 2 that they have listed here, which looks newer than what I had. Mine was a 56.3, which was like just a 10th higher. I guess it was maybe an older year. Maybe it was batch 16. Maybe that's how that works. I'm not sure. But, uh-oh. Rabbit Red, good to see you, man. I didn't know you were even around. If I missed you, I apologize. I've been trying to keep up with the comments. It's not been easy. You saw Burgundy, a non-Burgundy 14 cast strength online. That's interesting, huh? Was it a bourbon, maybe? They have a bourbon 14 that's cast strength. I wonder if that's what it was, maybe. Yeah, I need to try a long row. That's one version of Springbank. I haven't even tried it as long row. I'm sure that the red or the 18 I probably would like a lot. DHS's recent long row red actually might be my whiskey of the year. Wow. That's saying something. I'll have to try that out because I do love my Springbank and I like the funk. And if it's got peat in it, even peated funk, it's got to be pretty good. Does the long row keep the Springbank funkiness, the Dunnage Warehouse leathery goodness to it? I'm just curious if that's, possible or not. Versace Man says long row is the best style from the Springbank in his opinion. Wow. Sadly, it's the only one I haven't had it. And D just says it has the funk for sure. Awesome. Peated funk. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Mark, you guys have had a long row before, haven't you? And was it the red or the 18 or both? Or what is a memorable long row for you guys? I'm just curious. And then for everyone else, is the red or the 18 if you were going to tell me which one to go with first on a long row, what would you recommend it to be? I'm just curious. Whiskey Ace says, I can't decide between the red, the Four Roses OBSO or the Cardhu 2018 for Whiskey of the Year. Wow. My caveat is I'll purchase the bottle. Oh, man, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm not a bourbon guy, no, but I have had the Four Roses LESP, if that makes any sense to you. I think I've got it back here still even. 2016 Four Roses LESB. And that is a good bourbon, and I'm not a bourbon guy. And if I like it, you know it's good. That's all I can tell you there. But to compare that with Lafroig, oh my goodness gracious, I would have to go because of the peat smoke, the iodine, the Fino sherry, the TCP goodness, the dry but yet chocolatey notes. You got to go for the Cardhu, man. Come on. Whiskey Ace, I'm going to vote for the Cardhu 2018 Fino Sherry. That's just the way I've got to roll on that one. Mark says a few long rows. I like both of those. Didn't love the 18, but the 18 is the old bottling, which isn't the one everyone raves over. Huh. Get any long row, the 13 Malbec, which while it's available, probably 18, the red. My whiskey of the year was the Red Press 12 cast strength. Wow, just posted my top 5 video for 2018. I'm sure if I cracked my long row red, it may have cracked my list. Rabbit Red says, limited edition single barrel, yeah. Get the 13 Malbec in 11 Confranc. I'm assuming that is. I've heard of the Malbec. I haven't heard of the Confranc. Is that Canadian franc? Or had the long row NAS and it was good. Aquavite sent me a long row cab from is that a Cabernet Franc? Is that like a type of deal there? Huh. And it was good as well. Versace Man says, well, I think they discontinued it, but on these statement long row was fantastic. Wow. A lot of praise for the long row NAS. Jason and I are the same way. Neither one of us have had a long row. Isn't that sad, man? We gotta try that out. I was disappointed in 2018 Cardhu, and I'm a peat head for Steven. Yeah, I mean, if you're going for full-fledged peaty smoke campfire, I think that it was, I don't know. I mean, the only thing about the Carriages Fino is the Fino Sherry. There's three qualities to it that you have to be in the mood for, I would say, Stephen. And those three things are the dryness, the acidity, and the saltiness. Those three things are so much in your face on that Fino Sherry. I still thought it had a good the peat smoke campfire thing going on, but I I know what you mean. I have to be in the mood for it, though. I mean, my favorite Carriages I've ever had is the Amontillado, which is the 2014. I'm sorry, the 2013. The 2014 Amontillado is my second, and my third is the 2016 Madeira cask. Those are, I think, my favorites. But I like something going on with my major peat smoke fire. Like, I don't know. I'm not a purist, so if you're more of a purist, I can see why you're not into the sherried version of it. But it's if I'm really digging the Party Source exclusive Great Kings. That's the when you say Great Kings, is that the Compass Box thing? Thinking Great King Glasgow something or other, or I'm probably thinking of something different. OBSO is a single barrel private selection from Master Distiller Brent Elliott. Wow, that's quite exclusive sounding. Sounds good. The LESB was good too. That's all I'm saying. No, NAS is absolutely solid. Well, I'll have to see if I can find this Long Row NAS somewhere. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but I might have to try. That's why I'm going back and forth. The Four Roses has a really unique flavor profile, but the Carriages 2018 really grew on me as I kept drinking it. Yeah, it's one of those bottles. I mean, and it's funny. I was lucky enough to have 3 different ones, and the more I have it, the more I like it. So, and not at all one sitting, of course. It's like, just the more I get accustomed to it, the more I'm into it. It's weird. It's very like it's addicting. It draws you into it. So that flavor profile is really well done on the Carriages too. But I can see where that would be a tough choice. Yes, they're all red wine finishes. There's a Long Row 15 single barrel aged in Chardonnay. I have to buy it. It is, considering how much I love Springbank. The Chardonnay, man, that's a tough one. Chardonnay wine, I have to be in the mood for that. I'm trying to remember. Riesling is the one I really don't like very much, but Chardonnay I can drink. I'm just trying to remember my white wine preferences. I'm trying to remember. There's a Chardonnay cask of something I had recently. I don't know if it was a Glenmora or something else, but it was intriguing. But not sure if I was really into it or not. But I don't think it was it definitely wasn't a Long Row or anything like that. Trying to catch up here. Long Row 15 single barrel sounds good though. DHS says you should get the red just because it is cask strength. You seem to have a huge preference for that. Yeah, that's a good point. A little more playability is what I like to call it. There's peat and campfire in Long Row Reds. I like that. Do you own a bottle? I was initially disappointed, but it's great. 2015 is my favorite whiskey of all time. Huh. I'm assuming he's talking about Long Row, but he could be talking about Carriages. I'm not sure if Whiskey Ace, which one he's talking about. 2018 is amazing. Rabbit Red says I actually did a review video of that one. Best since 2015. The 2015 is good. It's just so funny because it's very, straightforward malted barley. It's definitely not like any other Carriages that 200th anniversary 2015 when you guys are talking about. It's good, but it's very specific. There's nothing else that tastes like that. But you have I have to be in the mood for that one. But I did like it. I mean, I haven't had a carriage I never liked. The 2017 quarter cask kind of threw me off for a loop because I was expecting the regular quarter cask at cask strength, and that's not what it is. That one I had to like warm up to. But the other ones definitely. And Rabbit Rose was talking about that one. That's funny. Let me go back up here. I'm missing some comments here. Just went to the 2018. Yeah, it's better than I remember. I think it's opened up some. Yeah, yeah. I think out of the box on the Pheno, you have to definitely get it oxidized a bit for it to get a little better. I'll slap you with peat occasionally. Oh, it'll slap you with peat occasionally. Other times, just sweet, sugary goodness. And we shouldn't forget how amazing the 2017 quarter cat. Yeah, they're all good. I don't have anything really bad to say about any carriages I've had. I wish I had the 2012 and the 2008. Those are really hard to find though. That's the only ones I haven't tasted. The 2008 to 2012. That's on my unicorn before I die, hopefully list. Wow, Jason, let's see. Stephen, Whiskey Aces, Stephen and I have passed 2 bottles of 15 in my travels. Wow. The Super OESK open right now. Wow. You're mentioning the Great King Street, which is a nice compass box. Yeah, that's the one I thought he was talking about, but I'm not sure if that's what he was referring to or not. Did any of you had the private selections? I have not. Cluckenlaw's Glenmora 10 Chardonnay cask. Yeah, that's the one that I think I might have tried that I wasn't sure if I was into it or not. It was kind of a... But Glenmora is one of those distilleries that I'm not quite sure if I'm into it yet. I'm still trying different things. I like their Sherry 15. I think is my favorite that I've ever had by them, but it's a tough one with those guys. Steven says, "Oh, I was thinking the 2015 was port." No, the 13. Yeah, that's the 13. It's amazing. The 13 is unreal. Best carriages I've ever had. But like I said, 2012 into 2008, I'd love to try. It's the end of the year. What's your favorite whiskey of the year of release? Oh, man. Oh, he's going to make me pick whiskey of the year. Wow. Okay, well, I definitely narrowed it down. It's going to be between the Highland Park the Dark, the Ardbeg Grooves, the Lafroig Pheno 2018 Carriages. The Uncle Moore is no joke either. The Uncle Moore is a travel retail exclusive. It's really good. It's tough to... I'm not sure when it came out, probably way before 2018, but the Kilchoman Original Cask Strength is no joke. The Glen Scotia 15 is no joke. Whiskey of the year, though, has to be something surprisingly good. You know, it is of the year, so maybe something that I don't have to worry about the price so much. For me, from what I've had, I'll have to say... pains me to go outside of my usual Ardbeg or Lafroig. The Highland Park the Dark is no joke. I mean, it's a little pricey at $300 in my opinion. I wish it was $200 to $250. But it's 17 years. It's 17-year age statement. It's got a really well done profile. The nose is killer. The taste is killer. The finish is killer. If I'm forced to pick one, I think the Dark is probably my go-to 2018 whiskey of the year. Don't hate me. For second place, the Ardbeg Grooves Committee release, I think I liked it better, barely, than the Carriages Pheno, only because of the charredness I got from the cask. The cask strength you get from these committee release. You can't find it though anymore. You probably would have to pay $300 or $400 if you really, really wanted it. The Thankfully, I got it for like $100, so it wasn't crazy. But that's probably. But the Lefroy, the Uncle Moore, and the 18, those are awesome offerings. It's hard to find them, but I know they didn't come out this year. But that's I think where I'm at right now. I mean, they're all pretty solid. Let me get back up to. I think I have 7 bottles of 6 different recipes in the stash. Wow, Jason Coates. Whiskey says 2017 is good, but didn't go. Flavor was enough for me. You're talking about the which one whiskey? You're talking about the Carriages? That's probably the cast strength. Yeah. Hey, Louis, good to see you, man. Yeah, we're still having some fun. Thanks for coming by. Well, we still have a lot of viewers watching. Just getting home. What did we give the Classic Cut? It's very well done. I think it's a solid 4.5. The only thing I'd nick it for, like a year statement, I liked some age on it. A little less dryness on the finish, but other than that, solid, well done whiskey. It's amazing what the proof is on this. I mean, it's 58.4 ABV. And I got to be careful about drinking this. It's that good. It's really easy to drink it at that proof. So there you go. Oh, Stephen, the Heron Based. Well, that's from 1990, isn't it? I don't have a box here, but I'm pretty sure that sucker's from 1990. I was a no, was I a sophomore or was I an 8th grader? I got to think about that. I graduated in 94, so I would have been an 8th grader in 1990. Wow, that's kind of scary. Heron Based. Heron Based is one of my favorites, yes. I was trying to, Stephen, the only reason I didn't pick it was because the Ardbegner Heron Based came out that long ago. In 97 was when it was closed again, so they released this probably, it's from 1990. What year did they release this, I wonder? Was it 90? No, it had been after that, I would think. Either way, it's extremely, 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 extremely hard to find. 2006. Well, Jesus, man. That's the only reason I wouldn't pick it. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, as far as my favorite whiskey I've ever had, that's in the top. I mean, that was unreal. And I would give. I remember when the Top Whiskeys guys, they have these raffles where you can, try to win something. They had an Heron-based raffle. I prayed every day that I would get a bottle of that because I would pour the smallest anti-Sean pour you'd ever seen. It would be that it would be so small, and I would relish every drop of that whiskey. Oh my goodness gracious! I would love it. I would love it. All right, let me. I skipped some around there. Let me get back up here to some comments here. Wow, you guys are really pouring it on tonight. Can't find a 2013. Yeah, Carriages anywhere. It's a very tough one. Rabbit, you'd have to go aftermarket whiskey, Scotch whiskey auctions, that kind of thing, and be prepared to pay, unfortunately, some cash for that one. I was looking up to get it as a sample. There's no way I would shell out $300 or $400 for a dram unless I really, really was desperate. Richie Z says, "How come I've never seen the dark or the light in stores?" They only are at these really specific, specialized stores. The only one I've ever seen it at locally is one called Petite Cellars here in Maryland. But they have an outstanding whiskey selection. It's outstanding. They have Lefroy 32, a 27, 25, all the way down. I mean, they've got the Ardbeg 23. They have the Holland Park Odin. They've got the Thor. They've got the Fire and Ice. They've got everything. So those are the places you have to go to, I think, to get the Light and the Dark. unfortunately. I think it did sell well too. So not only was it, you know, something that came out and I think was limited, I think it sold really well. So that might be another problem too. I've seen a few bottles here and there, but they're probably already gone. I'll probably never even get my own bottle, even if I saved up for it. Unfortunately, it's sad, but hopefully they'll be able to release another one or something similar. Because that 17-year-old juice is no joke, and the light's pretty good too. I only had it at an expo. I didn't really get enough time to sit down with it and try it like I did the dark, but it was solid. It was good. I just need more time, I think, to see if it's as good as the dark. I don't know about it being my wheelhouse right away, but you can't get any bourbon in Kentucky. What? I think I missed something there. No problems finding Four Roses private selects when traveling. Okay, they're talking about the Four Roses stuff. Yeah, that they're not too hard to find. It looks like usually, thankfully. My mom was asking about Emerald Lee, and it's hard to find. John Belushi, a regular around. You guys have seen him before. He, I think, has a way to get an Emerald Lee, but he's the only one I know that actually was able to find it. It's unless you bought a bottle a while back, it's hard to find it anymore. It's almost like the new Pappy or something. Gukka says yes, the Glenmora 15 is a very good combo with the bourbon barrel sherry. Yeah, that's probably my favorite of their stuff. But I'm surprised. I wasn't really a huge fan of the 25. They had it at the tasting, and I just didn't really get into it as much as I was hoping. But it's hard to get a really full experience at an expo. You really have to sit down with the bottle sometimes to get a full effect. So I'm not going to grade it or anything like that. But that one, I'm not sure if I'm going to get into that very much or not. But the 15 sherry is probably my favorite out of their deal. Let's see. Steven says secondary on the Groove CR. Not too bad. 150 shipped. Yeah. DHS, they haven't had the private selects. Ooh. Russell single barrel. Yeah, getting into Russells, that's a whole different thing there. It's a different one. Richie says, thanks, Telex. I've been looking for the light in the dark and never finding either. Yeah, it's a tough one. You really have to look at a particular special place, like a huge selection place to find it. Whiskey Scout says, damn, 94, 9 years ahead of you, making me feel old. I used to get 3 to 4 bottles of the 10-year rip for $31. Yeah, these prices have been like just insane lately of what you can get versus what you can't get. Sorry, I've been playing catch up for so long here. He's settled on the Yamazaki 18. I wouldn't call that settling, Jason. That would be damn good, man. Yamazaki. Whew. That's some craziness. I don't even think I can even find that stuff around here. More or less, what the price would be is probably. I think Jason's right. I think, yeah, $2.99 is not something that I would be surprised to see. Even as crazy elevated as it is, I think it was like $1.99 when it was released, or even cheaper than that. But yeah, the Yamazaki is one of those like kind of like Hibiki. Between those two, man, it's hard to find any really good juice that's not astronomically priced. Whiskey did a solo. I'm sorry, did a side-by non-CR. The others in the group favored regular version, myself, and another CR all the way. Committee release, I think he's talking about. Yeah. And when the next committee release of Rabbit, that's going to be the Ardbeg drum. It's a drum cask. And that should be in, let me see something. Our big screws, see, drum. Sure what happened there. That was weird. Can't type or something. Too much goodness going on. Too much cast strength whiskey. Let's see. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. It's gonna be let's see. Well, we know all the regular stuff is Ardbeg Day, and that's like June, but the committee releases come out earlier, and I believe that's in March. But let me see something. Not sure why I'm having so much trouble just typing today. Here we go. Date. Let's see. Committee release. Come on. I want to say that I remember them coming out a bit earlier, and I want to say it was in early March, but I could be off. I'm just trying to verify that real fast. Come on. If anybody else knows right away, let me know if I'm off, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let's see. $2.99 was a good price for the Yamazaki, in my opinion. Well, I could probably flip it for twice. Wow, man, that's crazy. You probably could, but I just think these prices are just getting out of control on these aftermarkets. A couple stores hoarded several bottles of pricing at $5. What? Richie C says the Yamazaki 18, a couple stores hoarded several bottles and pricing at $5. You mean $5,000? $500? I'm not sure what that 5 means. Yeah, the Black Art 4.1 is a really good choice. It's going away in 2019. Wow. Yeah, they probably don't have enough to keep up with demand, I'm pretty sure. That's my guess. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to find a date for the for what it is on the drum committee release, and I want to say, come on, try to find a different deal here. 1 second. 275 pounds? Are they crazy? That is nuts. I'm sorry, but that is crazy. It's hard to find a older date, but I want to say that it came out in either March or April, because the Ardbeg Day is the regular release, and that usually covers the limited release for everybody after the fact. So there you go. It's all about timing with that, because they won't hold bottles. Usually you have to go and get it when they open and when you know they're coming. So contact your favorite store, tell them that you're interested in Ardbeg drum, say you know it's coming out in either March or April. You just want to get an idea of when to show up, and then go that way. That's what I usually do. And I've been successful with the Kelpie and the grooves the last couple of years, getting the committees before they even come out. So there you go. Let me catch up here with some more comments. Steve says he's had the Yamazaki 18 many times and it's not close to being worth secondary price. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, Robert's got 2 bottles of Emerald Lee. I hate to ask how much, Rabbit, but how much would I have to pay? I'm not sure what they go for. I'm not asking for any crazy deal or anything, but Unfortunately, I have to. Well, I could pick it up tomorrow maybe if you're around, but I got to go to Louisville literally early Saturday. So, but I am looking for a bottle for my parents actually. So it would definitely go to a good home. I promise you that. It wouldn't be like kept. It would be drank. Hell, I might even drink some. Emily didn't wow me. I think it's worth at retail, but not a dime more. Yeah, that's just unfortunately though. If you can't get Pappy, a lot of the Kentucky people that like bourbon, that's what their one of their go tos is the Elmer Tilly. That's what they ask for. This is straight from the horse's mouth. I'm telling you. So um, it's got to have something in there that people like. Not my thing at all. It's like I don't like corn, but if I can get him a bottle, I'll do it. Write me a note, Rabbit, if you don't mind. Let me know what it takes to get a bottle of that, maybe. And Telex at outlook.com, and maybe we can figure something out. Well, guys, this is 1:20. I think I got to wrap it up here soon. I'm sorry. I know you guys want me to quick, but I do have to get up and help pack and get stuff together and get on the road the next day and all that mess and figure something out here. It's been fun. Wow, we still got 13 or 14 people still watching. I hate to turn it off, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. It's going to be a tough one because I haven't had a drink in a while. This stuff is pretty killer, I have to say, in a good way. Nice live stream culture. Yeah, you too, Whiskey. Thanks, Richie, and everybody else for hanging out. It's always fun. I like to go along when I get a chance to, like when I don't have to work the next day. So it's always fun to do that. And hope to see you guys. I'm gonna try DHS, and you guys entertain me too. So it's a two-way street. I'm gonna try to do a live show from the holler if I can. Uh, in the 26th, I guess it is. Is that next Thursday? No, 27th. 27th. I'll try to do a show from the holler if I can. Might even do one from Mom's place if I can. I'm not sure if Dave wants to do a show, but maybe we can figure out something. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll do a Tuesday and a Thursday. You never know. I might have to stop off at Westport Whiskey. I heard they have a really good Louisville, huge store there. Might have to take a look around, see if they have anything that's worth a gander, and see if they would pick up something special. I don't know. Have to see what's possible, but that could be a plan. Oh, Whiskey's asking for quick. Oh man, I don't know. I could still go, but it might not be pretty. Might be snoozing right here on the side of my chair like this. That wouldn't be very good. Uh-oh. DHS says he needs an all-nighter. Oh man, you guys are making me feel bad. I travel, and that's the only reason I can find some. Oh wow. Stephen wasn't surprised to even see it on the table. Yeah, wasn't even listed, published the night before. Yeah, I might have to pour me a little bit more of this before I go to bed. I don't want to drink it all before I head out either. Really well done. Thanks again, Bob. If you watch this later, you probably are like, how long did he film for? Netflix and sour grapes. Oh no, that's not good. Well, Solange everybody. I hope you had fun. Sleep well too. Merry Christmas, everybody. And I might see you guys on Tuesday. If I don't see you guys on Tuesday, I might see you guys on Thursday. If I don't see you guys on Thursday, I'll definitely see you at some point the following week. I'm going to try to figure out something. And Rabbit, let me know as soon as you can. Send me a message, telex@outlook.com, and let me know if if one of those Elmer bottles is what one of those would go for. Because I might have to do that if I can't work out something with John Belushi. I haven't talked to him yet about it though, so I'll work something out tomorrow, one way or another, I think. All right, ciao.